Hello everybody, this is Gwyneth and welcome to my channel. This is a forecast that's running from February 18th through the 28th. Now some of you are saying to yourselves, wait a minute, it's late. I am deliberately taking a revisionist strategy to this forecast. And there are a lot of reasons for that. Some of you may have missed what was happening over the last week. I feel that we can't talk about this week unless we talk about what was happening last week, because it's all connected. So I hope this makes sense, because so much is swirling around us right now that I think it's important to backtrack a little bit when we start talking about what is going on in the world. So, not to put too fine a point on it, I think that we need to pay attention to the most recent eclipse and link it to what's happening as we go forward in this month. This is a forecast for all of those earth signs, Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo. And please feel free to look at your sun as we're talking about this, but also if you have your moon sign or rising sign at hand, take a look at that also. And of course, I have a lot of people say that they're cross watchers for other people, and feel free to take notes because it's applicable to them also. Okay, so let's jump right in here and start out with one of my favorite signs of the zodiac, Taurus. Now, yes, Taurus, you've been a busy bee over the last couple weeks. Things may have unbalanced you because, let's get real, the aspects have been incredible. But I'm grabbing my pen so I can make notes as I talk, because that's what I do when I work with you. But let's start with where the moon is and where the moon has been over the last few days, and to see how that affects you. So on the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, the moon has been in Taurus. And Taurus, when it hits your sun sign, gives you insight. It gives you an opportunity to make change in ways you hadn't thought of doing it before. It also gives you opportunities to let your hair down a little bit. So that's been a good thing. And there's so many things that are in conjunction with Venus, which is the ruler of Taurus, so that it may have been that you've received some good news, or you had an opportunity to expand in a way you hadn't even thought about. The next couple days are that I think are going to be mighty important for you is that the moon will be in Cancer on the 27th and the 28th. You're friendly with Cancerians. It's a very complementary energy to your Taurian aspects. So where does that reside in your chart? It happens to be in that area where you're able to communicate your deepest feelings. That's the third house. You're able to talk about your ideas. You're able to, connect with people that you haven't spoken to in a while. So just bear that in mind as we get closer to that. It's the 27th and 28th, Friday and Saturday. 28th and 28th, 27th, 28th. Now, it's important that we talk about what is going on over the next 2 weeks and as it related to the total eclipse, because some of the research I've done says that this is probably one of the most powerful collection of days from the 18th to the 28th that we have seen in the last year or so, and maybe beyond that. So on the 18th, we had this eclipse at 28 degrees of Aquarius. It's all right if you can't follow along with all the signs and aspects, but I will punctuate the fact that it fell in the area that you're very concerned with, which is your career. Now, it's not important to everyone. It could possibly be that you are self-employed, and that there could be all kinds of caveats. But one of the main things is that even if you aren't working full-time or at all, this will impact or could have impacted the way your community around you or your extended family or the people that you work in a tangential way with connect with you or see you. So that started on the 18th, and that energy will reverberate for some time to come, for months. Then on Friday the 20th, we had probably one of the most unusual and potent aspects when Neptune, the planet of mystery, spirituality, intuition, linked together with Saturn, and both planets in the sign of fiery Aries. This is landed in your 12th house, and it will, and that energy of those two planets working to further your purpose, your life path, your goals in this lifetime, that energy will stay with you through March. Please, you don't have to be the world's best astrologer to follow the bouncing ball. This is just a good tool in your toolbox. Write this down in your calendar or put it down on a piece of paper, because there's an opportunity here for you to witness some shifts that you can capitalize on. But this period lasts through the end of March. Neptune conjunct Saturn, and I talk about it in my forecast review. It's the very first video I post during this period, and I illustrate it with a paintbrush and a wooden spoon, because I feel like when you put these two planets together, you're putting strange bedfellows. You're putting together two energies that really are very distinctly different. But the message here, the big message, is that this is an important time for you Taurians to take action on a dream, on something that you feel very strongly about. And we're not just talking about politics. We're talking about building that ship in a bottle, that opportunity to move into something that you've been holding at bay. Maybe you're sensing that one of your kids has stepped into a problem that they're having a hard time untangling, and you need to do something, but you're really not sure what to do. This is where you get support and advice from the experts. Or maybe it's a situation where you see a place you'd like to live in the world, and it's calling out to you, but you're a little bit afraid to take the first step. So whatever it is, this is an important time for you. 12 years ago, we had this aspect that I'm going to talk about in a minute. That would have been around 2014, when Venus joined up with Jupiter. Venus in Pisces and Jupiter in Cancer. They're both water signs. And something very exciting or loving or, inspirational could have happened to you. Well, we're on rinse and repeat cycle now. So you can pay attention to what that was. See if you can look back in your notes and find out what you were up to, because this may be an opportunity to actually have this thing happen if it didn't exactly pan out the way you thought it would. Then on Thursday the 26th, and I hope this is not going too quickly, but I want to get all this in for you today. Mercury goes retrograde in the sign of Pisces. And Pisces energy isn't bad for a Taurian. Again, it's another water sign. But where this lands is in your 11th house of supporters, people that believe in you, people with big pockets, people who simply have big will of spirit. Or this is also the area of organizations that you are really very involved with. So you may find that over the next 9 weeks, things that you had hoped would work are not quite working the way they should, or an organization's agenda, it has become suddenly very confused, or people that said that they, or promised that they would help you with a project, have come up with all kinds of excuses to take a vacation. Keep that in mind. I'm not dissing it. Mercury retrograde in itself is an opportunity for review, revise, and redo. I think it's always a good thing. So pay attention to that. Maybe a project that you had started through one of your organizations isn't as easy as you thought it would be. So mind that. And over the next 9 weeks, if there's something you need to make a fast decision on and you can put it on hold, put it on hold. Otherwise, sometimes we're just forced to do things. On Friday the 27th, which I mentioned before for you, is when the moon is in Cancer. So the moon in Cancer is good for you and the energy is flowing. There's an irascible, irritating aspect when Mars squares off with Uranus. And Mars will be in Aquarius. I'm looking here at your chart. And it squares off to your sun sign, which is in the first house. Be aware of what you say to people. Be aware of how you appear. I don't always recommend this. You've got to be yourself. I know. It's a powerful thing. Your uniqueness is the fact that you don't care very much what people believe you are. You're kind of an earthy creature. But in this case, who you are, what you look like, what you say could influence something that's happening in your career life. You could be an entertainer, you could be a marketer, you could be a podcaster, like I am, you could be a health provider. This is a touchy area. Watch it. If you really care, pay attention to your mannerisms and your language for a few days at least, while Mars is squaring Uranus, because it is affecting your career. And then on Saturday the 28th, we get to let our hair down a little bit when Mercury joins forces with Venus, both signs in Pisces, and you get an opportunity to mingle with higher ups. You get a chance to spend time with people who really care about you and your projects. And you get an opportunity probably to have enlivened conversations with friends. I mean, really exciting. So that's the next few days. The total eclipse on the 18th is an important one. It shakes up the status quo, and that impacts your grand and glorious career. It also puts you in touch with powerful people who have powerful agendas. You could be on the lowest end of the totem pole of somewhere where you work. Doesn't matter. You will touch or come up against people who have mighty concepts that they think need to be pushed right now. This 28 degrees is an anaretic degree, they call it. It is in the charts of all these famous people and leaders in various countries. That's how powerful this eclipse is. And my friend, it falls in your area of career and your destiny to work in the community or to do the work you do. So it doesn't matter. Really, it just happens. So how does that impact the rest of this? Well, as we go along, and I mentioned the Neptune conjuncting Saturn that happens on Friday the 20th. That is at a 0 degree. We haven't seen that before. Astrologers have not seen that lineup, not in recent history at least. And it's where vision meets effect. It's where there's an opportunity to move forward on something that matters to you on a powerfully spiritual or intuitive level. So, case in point, you could be simply a clerk somewhere and you meet somebody and you have this idea and you say to them, look, I really care about helping homeless children. They might be able to help you with that project. They may help you with that vision. This is the kind of energy we're encountering over the next week or so. And that's why I needed to repeat this for you. So Taurus, this is your week coming up. Let's take a look at what's happening with the cards. Taurus, 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 Taurus. Hey, what's happening with you? Twin flame, somebody loves you. Someone has your back. Someone that you feel is as close to you as your heart. The twin flame comes up. This is exciting. And it may be somebody you work with and haven't really paid attention to. They've had their eye on you. 4 of Cups. They've had their eye on you for a very long time and you haven't noticed them. This person's even pouting. Way to influence, not make friends and influence enemies. Yeah, it's like, you pass them every day and they just sigh because they know that you don't notice them. And you've been so caught up in all kinds of mishigas, all kinds of worry, all kinds of fretting over various things in your life that this person has been non-existent to you. And yet it's a potential for a very deep, very soulful relationship. So I would suggest focusing, and when you walk around and go through your day, pay attention. You've had battles, you've had arguments, so that you've been very distracted. And you've felt overwhelmed and downtrodden. And that's coming to an end. You won't feel so overwhelmed. Use your intuition, use your spiritual ability to ferret out what's important right now. The High Priestess. There is a possibility of news about income, earnings, pay raises, etc. coming your way. Knight of Pentacles. And there is a possibility here, if this is what you're looking for, of a new love connection. Ace of Cups. So Taurus, please enjoy your week. If you've had a chance to take some notes here, please do. If you ever have questions, drop me a line at cottagetarot, all one word, .com, and let me know what you think. Take care. Okay, let's move on to Virgo. Virgo, what is going on with you? I think a lot. So as I mentioned, I always talk about um, the moons that are occurring during this period. I'm also going all the way back to the 18th because I think it's essential to tie it into what's happening this week. But let's start out with the moons that occur over this period, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. The moon is in Taurus. Yay, it's great for your earthy sign of Virgo. If you have Virgo rising and know it, this is really great, so pay attention to that. And also moon or sun is essential here because I set up the chart that way. So Virgo all day long. With those moons in your 9th house, the emphasis is on learning, exploring, traveling. On the 27th and 28th, a compatible water sign of Cancer is very important to you, and it's in your 11th house. Those 11th house issues are people that support your actions, step forward, and also your dreams and wishes are more apparent to you right now. Now, let's jump backwards a little bit. Even though this is a forecast that runs from the 18th, actually it's a little shorter than that. And you're asking yourself, well, why is she talking about the past? Well, I'm actually running this from the 18th to the 28th for a reason, and you'll find out in a minute. So we had a total eclipse at 28 degrees of Aquarius, and that was on your, I'm looking here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, your 6th house of work, how you work, when you work, what kind of environment you work in, and also issues around taking care of your body and becoming healthier, stronger, more adaptable even. This eclipse occurred at 28 degrees of Aquarius. It's one of the most powerful degrees, and it's in the charts of very powerful and important people around the world. This is emphasized for you, so you have to sit up and take notice. Are you happy where you're working? Are you enjoying what you're doing? Are you being paid enough according to your standards? Let's jump to the health part. Are you getting enough exercise? Are you getting enough sleep? I am by no means a medical practitioner, so I always say to people, go get those people on your team and talk to them about how you're feeling. But in the meantime, the little things we do also mean a lot. I think people in our world, in our generation, just do not get enough sleep. So something to look at. But with this occurring, this eclipse happening, and happening in the 6th house area of your chart, this means pay attention. It's about what's happening on the job. So just keep that in mind. Now, on Friday the 20th, we had Neptune conjuncting Saturn. And for those of you who watched my forecast review know that I danced around with a paintbrush and a wooden spoon. But I feel it's very similar to that. You've got Neptune, the planet of spirituality and, intuition, connecting with Saturn, which is all about practicality and hard work and getting the job done. And when you put these two together in Aries, it means this is a fighting force. Saturn wants to help its partner, Neptune, move on some of the intuition and the spiritual issues that he or she or they are trying to carry out. So maybe you're running a nonprofit organization and you really want to build it some more. Maybe you see a need to feed homeless children. Maybe you're worried about the stray cats in the neighborhood. Maybe you're very upset about politics right now. This is an opportunity to step forward and voice and show and demonstrate your need for people and the world to sit up and take notice. Now, Virgo, this is in your 8th house. This can also relate to issues in your family. This is all about transition. Now, with Aries sitting here and the energy being very hot and very, very dynamic, there is a transitional period happening with you, which could be that you just don't want to waste time. You don't want to waste time anymore on things that don't matter. So keep that in mind. On Thursday, the 26th, Mercury, the planet of how I communicate and how I get things done in the world that deal with technology, goes retrograde. And it kind of is like, let's throw a wrench into the mechanics of everything right now. If the life wasn't complicated enough, let's have a retrograde, and it lasts for the next 9 weeks. So therefore, you got to be careful about how you send out documents, what you sign, what you agree to. Look out for spam. Don't get, caught up in any kind of project that you can't see yourself committing to, because communication here is key and it's problematic. Keep an eye on your business card, your ATM card. Keep an eye on any kind of credits or bills that come through that don't look right, because this is a period where things can get a little confusing. And it's in the sign of Pisces. And it is in your 7th house of long-term partnerships. So how you communicate with these people is going to be all important. On the 27th, Mars, the planet of action, and in the sign of Aquarius, which is that 6th house we were talking about work, has a face-off, or a square off, I like to say, to Uranus and Taurus. So you may have this very strong desire right now to walk away from your job and go on a travel expedition, or find something more exciting, or do something that is going to wake up your world. Now, if you've been interviewing and looking for new work, that's different. But let this square mellow out for a few weeks before you decide to walk away from something that has been working. I think that this is, because it is a square, it is a little bit antagonistic and a little bit erratic. I'm not saying it's not good to calculate what's out there for you, but I think over the next few weeks, with all of the planets that are moving around right now and taking up different positions, it would be wise to take things slowly as far as it relates to your work. And then lastly, on Saturday the 28th, Mercury will conjunct Neptune. Will conjunct Venus, in Pisces. And it's in your 7th house. So you know what? You have a good old friend, or you have a long-term partner, or you have somebody that you're trying to turn into a long-term partner. This is a great day. This is the 28th. This is Saturday. To go out, have dinner, drinks, go to a bookstore. It's got Mercury connected to it. Mercury conjunct Venus. It's lovely. Check out a museum, go to a bookstore, go listen to music. This could be a lovely day for you. And it's all about partnering. So don't do this alone. If you can pull somebody in to go traipsing around with, do that. It would be very good for you, Virgo. So let's take a look at the Oracle card and see what wants to pop out for you. And then we'll look at the tarot cards to see what needs to be said. Okay. Virgo, 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 Virgo. Thinking. What do we need? What is out there? What happens here? Focus upon your strengths. And Virgo, you've got so many talents and abilities. So let's not downplay them. Virgo, 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 Virgo. What does Virgo need to hear? You've been a little bit melancholy. You feel like you're not moving forward. That people don't notice how talented you are. But, you know, things have gotten a little bit upended. But this Five of Cups still shows that you have 2 cups standing. So there's more to come. You have this is you, Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus. You have the capability to earn money, to bring in the goods that support you. It's going to be a lucky break for you. This is the Star card. I call it the lottery card. Some good news comes out of this, and it could have financial overtones. Yes, you've been over-concentrating on your money. 4 of Pentacles. But there is a change. There's a possible move, the Judgment card. Some kind of major transition. You may, if you can hang on there for a couple weeks, be looking for a new job. And this could indicate that you do make that change. Don't put yourself down internally. Don't say, oh, I couldn't do that. Yes, you can. Or I'm underqualified, or I don't have enough education, or I'm too old, or I'm too young, or I'm too short, or I'm too fat, or I'm too... Don't do that. This is a good time to talk yourself up. Use your business acumen. Queen of Wands, fire sign. There is a new project coming out of everything. Ace of Wands. Virgo, I want you to have a great week. Please, if you like what I talk about, like, share, and subscribe. I am a very straightforward person. I kind of shy away from bells and whistles. I like straight talk. But if there's something you want to hear and I'm not bringing it forward, drop me a line at cottagetarot.com. I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to hear your comments. Thank you. Okay, let's move on to Capricorn. Woo! It's all about you, Capricorn, with this Neptune conjunct Saturn, because Saturn is your planet, is the ruler of Capricorn. So let's take a look at what's going on there. Okay, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, the moon is in an earth sign of Taurus. And where does that fall in your chart? In the area of love, creativity, those children that you bring into the world, and nurture. Those children that you drive to school every day, or go sit and watch them play sports. I hate to tell you what I used to do when my son was playing soccer. It's a long story, but we try. We take them, we love them, we buy them soccer cleats. This is a period of time when the emphasis is on being creative, making things. You may think you're not creative, but you're also the person who's baking cookies or fixing things around the house. That can be creativity. So that's what's going on during what was going on during that Taurian moon. When Cancer goes in to your chart, when the moon is in Cancer on the 27th and 28th, it's all about partnership and those people you consider your partners in all kinds of activities. Doesn't mean it has to be a husband or a wife. It could be somebody who works with you or your business partner or the person that walks your dog. It doesn't matter. It's what you consider a partner. I think we're breaking down these old ideas about what everything consists of. Some people just have very flexible ideas about things. And in this case, it's happening in the sign of Cancer in your 7th house of partnership. I want to revisit some of the stuff that's been going on. This is a forecast that runs from the 18th to the 28th, and I know that we've already gotten past the 18th, but I needed it coupled with what's coming up. So I deliberately decided that this was a good thing to do right now. That total eclipse on the 18th was at 28 degrees of Aquarius in your 2nd house. Money, productivity, things that you are able to draw to you that help you in the material world. 28 degrees is an anaretic degree. It's a powerful degree. It's one of the last gasps in a house. There are 30 degrees in any of these little pie-shaped pieces in a chart. Someday I'm going to have the ability to show you things like that on my videos. But in the meantime, imagine a pie with 12 slices out of it. They're called houses. So that total eclipse put the focus on you and your money, Capricorn. And I'm thinking of a whole bunch of Capricorns right now that I love and adore. And this is all about you for the next 6 months, a year, whatever. On the 20th, Neptune in the sign of Aries, married or conjuncted Saturn in the sign of Aries. And that is in your 4th house of home and family. Big changes on the home front. Could have to do with a mother. It could have a lot to do with the house itself or your home life or the structure of your home life. In a powerful sign of Aries, fiery, demanding, very emotional. But it's Neptune. Neptune is about spirituality and your sense of knowing, your intuition. What is Saturn about? Hell if I know. I mean, no, I'm just kidding. It's about tradition. It's about hard work. It's about doing things the way they've always been done. But the most important thing here in this Neptune conjunct Saturn transit was that it's addressing your ability now to push forward a vision. It could be that you want a new home, you want to move home, you want to change locations, you want to do something for your mother, you want to make sure she's happier. It could have been very difficult. It could be very fiery. It could have been one of the toughest things you've ever done by moving or changing or doing something with your family. But this is happening, and this is happening in such a powerful way that you will feel this energy through March. Then on Sunday the 22nd, we had Venus trining Jupiter. Venus in Pisces, Jupiter in Cancer. 2 happy little water signs. And where did that fall in your chart? In the area of partners, and which is Jupiter, and Pisces in the 3rd house of communication. So there may be partners or people you work with in the workplace who will act like partners that you've had to communicate with. And sometimes it's great and sometimes it's not. But it's a trine, so the outcome can be very, very positive. This same transit occurred 12 years ago, around 2014. please, if you have a chance, I know you don't have time, write this down. See if you can track down what was going on in 2014. Then on Thursday the 26th, to make it more confusing, Mercury goes retrograde. And guess what? It goes retrograde in your life in the area of communication. What can this mean? Oh, and by the way, it lasts 9 weeks. It can mean that you were sent a message and you didn't get it. It can mean that you've been accepted to a program and they never sent it to you. It can mean that somebody said something to somebody else and you were supposed to get the information and you just didn't. Or you said something to someone else and you insulted them because they didn't understand what you were trying to say. Or because it has to do with communication in general, you lose your credit card or your ATM card gets eaten by the machine. This is just a weird, complicated communication glitch right now. Double check on everything you send out and double check on everything you're supposed to receive. Then on the 27th, Mars decides to do battle with Uranus. Mars is the planet of action. It's also fiery. And Uranus is the planet of eccentricity and technology. And, so it's sort of these two erratic energies butting heads. And where does this fall in your chart? The area of money, the second house, because Mars is in Aquarius, and your Uranus is in Taurus, which is in your fifth house of children. Okay, so some possible scenarios. You want to go on a date with somebody, but you don't have enough money to foot the bill, and that's embarrassing for you. Or one of your kids needs a loan, but you don't have enough money in your bank account to cover the need. Or you have a creative project that you're trying to work on, and you've discovered that the organization that wants this creative project is going to fund it, but you won't be getting the money for it for 3 months. So it's that kind of irritant. I would like to say it's just money, but that's an arrogant, flippant thing to say. Having been in all kinds of situations in my life, some of the most problematic times have been when I discover that I have about enough money to buy a cup of coffee and nothing more. So let's preempt this and do a little research and find out what everybody needs right now. For you, it would be, take a look at your bank accounts, make sure you've been paid properly, and make sure that the people that you love and who are around you are secure for the next couple weeks, because this won't last. This particular transit won't last forever. It'll be here for a short period of time, but it's still an irritant. And then on the 28th, some positive good news is that Mercury, which is all about communicating and sharing and talking, will conjunct Venus, which means it's a great period of time, it's a Saturday on the 28th, to go out and spend some time with dear friends, or to wool gather with people that matter to you. This could be very positive for you. And this falls in the area of simple communication. I don't see this as a big party time, but I do see that you will be lit up by some people's observations and their insights. So Capricorn, that's what's happening. Excuse me, this is the world that you inhabit right now. And let's take a look at the oracle cards and see what they want to offer you. Capricorn, 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 Capricorn rising, sun and moon. And oh, by the way, if you enjoy what I'm doing and you get a lot out of it, please like, share, and subscribe. Send my link over to friends of yours. Also, I like to get news. I like to get information. I like to hear from you. I'm at Cottage, COTTAGE, Tarot, TAROT.com. Drop me a line. I'd love to hear from you. Okay. You can do it. I know many of you are pushing on projects right now. You're involved with strategic planning. Some of you have applied to new programs that you want to enter in the next year or so. This is an important time, and this is saying you can pull it off. Capricorn, 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 Capricorn. It's a very good time to manifest your dreams. So let's get busy here. And folks, support those Capricorns, because this is not an easy period for them, but it's also a very productive time. There could be a transition coming up for you. I'm itchy for some reason. My hair is in the way. With the Judgment card, you could be going into a different phase of your career, your education, your lifestyle. Judgment card is major arcana. You could feel that there's something working against you behind the scenes. This is the Seven of Swords, a little sneaky Pete action. Maybe somebody didn't like what you did in the past and they wrote a lousy review, or maybe somebody is trying to sabotage your project. Yeah, you're worried. The moon. It's like you're fretting. You have the acumen, the power, the ability, the know-how, the financial well-being to move forward. Queen of Pentacles. And this is your card. Whether non-gender specific, it doesn't matter. It's Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus. You will be moving within the next 4 to 5 weeks into a much more quiet, peaceful period. Things will be solved. An understanding will be reached. Here's your compliment. This is also an earth sign. Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus. And this card indicates an increase in material wealth, whatever that comes in the form of. A pay raise, a severance pay, a new couch, new car tires, whatever, this is coming up for you. And it will make you very happy. And the news will come in through a message. Page of Wands. It will bring news that something else has fallen apart, but it isn't about you. So your good luck could come from something else, because there will be news about money. And it will be about, the news will come about a King of Swords. Some pushy, cerebral, very, very head-centered individual. Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini. But there will be emotional healing for that person too. So, Capricorn, hang in there and manifest yourself until you're silly. Which means to me, keep the vision in mind. What is it that you're after? Where do you see yourself? Paint a picture in your head and hold on to it. And on that note, I will be back here around March 2nd. Check me out. And again, share this with your friends. Be well. Take care.